So I thought that we'd look at a couple of the lowlights from the Brett Kavanaugh hearing. Now, of course, if you saw the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, you'd know that basically the entire hearing was a ginormous, humongous lowlight. What we saw was essentially a man exhibiting qualities of being somebody who is extremely combative, who's very immature, who is very, disrespectful, unmeasured, just an overall insane guy who has constantly shown within that hearing again and again and again consistently that he is somebody who is not fit in any way, shape, or form to serve as a justice on the highest court that determines the law of the land. So, I want you guys to check out. First of all, I want you guys to check out this clip of him talking to Senator Whitehouse.
I don't know that I asked about ketchup on spaghetti, but
you didn't. Someone did.
Okay.
And this is well known. Anyone who's known me, like a lot of these people behind me, have known me my whole life. Know, I got a weak stomach, whether it's with beer or with spicy food or anything.
So the vomiting that you reference in the Ralph Club reference related to the consumption of alcohol?
Senator, I was the top of my class academically, busted my butt in school, captain of the varsity basketball team, got into Yale College. When I got into Yale College, got into Yale Law School, worked my tail off.
And did the word, Ralph, you used in your yearbook
I already
relate to
answered the
alcohol?
question. If you're,
Did it relate to alcohol?
I like
You
beer.
haven't answered that.
I like beer. I don't know if you do.
Okay.
Do you like beer, Senator, or not? What do you like to drink?
Next one is
Senator, what do you like to drink?
Yeah, so apparently what that whole Ralphing thing, it doesn't have anything to do with having a weak stomach, but it just has to do with someone throwing up from excessive drinking. Now, the thing about that is obviously you can tell that he's enjoying and he's basking in the happiness of being able to make up this BS about having a weak stomach. You can tell the exuberance of excitedness that he gets to sort of twist this into being something that supposedly is very plausible, that, he has a very weak stomach. He's somebody whose stomach, no matter what he's doing, whether it be, spicy food or whatever, the guy's he's got a weak stomach, guys. So that's what he was talking about. Don't ask any more questions. But the second part of that is the exhibition of specific things that should not be exhibited by justices on the Supreme Court. So when he asked him, yeah, I like beer. Did you like beer? Who thinks that that's appropriate? Who thinks that that's something mature? Who thinks that's something that's respectful and not disrespectful? Because when you're giving a sworn testimony in front of Congress, in which if you commit perjury, that's a crime, in what world is it appropriate to, when asked a totally legitimate question about being asked of whether or not the term Ralphing had to do with drinking, which is totally a reasonable question. This is something where we're trying to corroborate evidence, and so you have to ask questions like this, and then you go, yeah, did you like beer? On what planet is that actually something that is acceptable, that's something that's respectable, something that is okay to be asked by somebody who's going to be sitting on the Supreme Court as a Supreme Court justice serving the United States, being one of the few people, one of the 9 justices who's going to be determining, what the law of the land is. I'll tell you very quickly, it is not something that is exhibited by people who should be on that Supreme Court. But it also goes to a third thing, is that it also goes to show that he's bullshitting, and he's obviously lying. We know that he's not that he had a weak stomach. We've seen multiple Yale school classmates of his who knew him who said that no, it wasn't that he had a weak stomach. He wasn't just a light drinker. The dude went ham on some alk. He went crazy on it. He was a sloppy drunk. He would drink to excess frequently. So, again, the idea that this is true is laughably hilarious. And you can just tell because of his delivery of when he's saying it. But this is not something that a characteristic that should be exhibited by people on the Supreme Court. And I find it ridiculous that this person is even nominated. It's honestly an offense to the intelligence of regular human beings in the United States of America.